Hello, and thank you for joining our 49ers Guide to Alaska Living presentation. My name is Corlin Bolster, and I'm the chair and one of the founding mothers of our nonprofit organization. We have aspired to create an organization that utilizes what Alaska is most famous for worldwide and most proud of within its own communities. Self-reliance. We want to keep this tradition alive and well, even for the new generation of Alaskans and all the people who are new to Alaska, who are sure to admire what Alaska is all about. So we're offering this fun and unique idea that actually has the ability to significantly improve the livelihoods of many adults in Alaska. And we're going to directly promote and advance Alaska living within our organization. So that is exactly our mission. And in this presentation, it is important to define what we consider to be Alaskan practical skill sets because that is what our organization aims to teach. So we consider those to be the hands-on skills that Alaskans perform day to day, week to week, or month to month. And we invite you just to think with us about the differences, the key differences between cities in the lower 48 and any of the communities in Alaska, or the great outdoors anywhere and the great outdoors of Alaska, the vast natural resources and lands, and generally the do-it-yourself mentality that we have here. Communities in Alaska share specific attributes. They manage their lives in a unique and challenging environment, and they often require skills that would not be learned in the lower 49 states, hence the name of our organization, 49ers Guide to Alaska Living. However, a large proportion of our community has transferred from the lower 49 states and become residents for school or work. So many have come, of course. However, the retention rate of Alaskan residents is very low. And this is largely because there is much to learn about living in Alaska with minimal opportunity and considerable challenges in learning those skills individually. For the majority of new residents, several workshops are needed to gain access to these practical skills. These are the skills needed for independence, utilization, and comfort in Alaska, and that's what our organization aims to provide. Here is actually a very short list of some of those very specialized skills for Alaskans, which you don't typically see unless you're in a very northern state. So that's why they are more rare and challenging. But as we are the furthest off and the lowest population, you can see why fishing and filleting is a practical skill here, and also a very fun activity, as well as winter vehicle maintenance, building and racing an outhouse, snowboard, snow machine, and ski maintenance, axes and saws and wood splitting, basic cabin and home repairs, fire starting and maintaining heat, winter driving and wilderness navigation, as well as cooking and cleaning in cabins, which is a unique environment to perform either of those skills in, are very specialized. And it is important to recognize that we believe our teaching style will be appreciated and be very well suited for adults in Alaska. This is not a formal school. It's a workshop and a community building organization. We have the ability to evolve, not just revolve, with our communities at a very fast rate. So it favors all the hands-on and practical skills that can be provided to adults. You will be guided through the 49ers Guide to Alaska Living's plans to allow it to foster the community's growth and health and resilience, like so. beginning with our Director of Marketing, Chelsea McCannon. So, Chelsea.
Hello, my name is Chelsea McCammon and I am the Director of Marketing. Thank you for joining us today. Today, I would like to talk to you about the design of our nonprofit organization group, 49ers Guide to Alaska Living. Our group was originated through ideas that the high schools around Alaska have recently been cutting back on home economic courses. Us founding four ladies have all experienced that Alaskan lifestyle and agreed that skills such as how to fish, how to prepare meals, how to fix a leaking cabin window, or even how to exhume your vehicle from snowstorms are important skills to know. We have come together and decided that we want to promote and advance Alaska living. In order to spread the word about our group, I have taken the lead on social media and on designing and creating flyers for our brochure handouts with information about our organization. This is our trifold brochure. It is a collection of thoughts and ideas formed from our current board members. My main goal was to focus on what people would remember. Alaska is known for its majestic green lands and crystal white winters. Throughout our information, we have incorporated a remnants of green and brown colors to represent Alaska's summers, as well as the white and gray to counterbalance as winter. We have decided upon the name 49ers Guide to Alaska Living because we want our name to be recognizable from its origin, Alaska, as well as what our main goal is to do, teach. We also decided to pick this name because when our nonprofit organization expands to multiple states, the state name will be easily interchangeable. For instance, 49ers Guide to Idaho Living or 49ers Guide to Florida Living. We believe that pictures on our webpage, brochures, flyers, all draw the attention of our targeted students because it has the ability of relation. Using photos of real people and audience have a higher chance to allow themselves to imagine they are the ones actually doing the actions. People ages 15 and up can attend our classes. Our classes are free to the public and open for donations. We have incorporated multiple aspects into our classes, such as home repair, car repair, window repair. Do you know the difference between heating elements? And even how to efficiently cook. One of the aspects that we also included is our location for our topics. For instance, if we have a cooking topic, it would make sense to put it in a cooking location. This means that depending upon the topic of the class will depend upon the class location. On our website, we have a calendar set up showing the time and the place for each of the classes. Another aspect to our organization, we plan on having a guest speaker present for each of our classes. This will allow for any specific questions our audience may have and to further in-depth the lesson for teaching. In order to have our information displayed, our group has talked to Home Depot, Lowe's, Big Ray's, and Country Kitchen as they have agreed to put a pamphlet holder on the front desk counter for our flyers and brochures. Also, as a nonprofit organization, we have talked to the University of Alaska Fairbanks and have come to the agreement that we will be able to mail out brochures to new and current incoming students the fall every year. Now that I have grabbed your attention, I would like to introduce Sam, who will be talking to you about the legal aspect to our nonprofit organization. Over to you, Sam.
Hello, my name is Sam Kelly and I'll be going over the research and legal part of this presentation today. I'm the Legal and Research Board member for the 49ers Guide to Alaska Living. According to my position description, I'm responsible for researching studies, reports, surveys, and other information to support the mission of the organization. I'm also responsible for researching legal aspects of running a nonprofit. What this basically means is that I look into options for the practical application of the 49ers mission statement and help determine how we can reach our goals. I also do research on legal issues, trying to determine what may be a liability to the 49ers and what we can do to prevent that from becoming an issue. This includes studying past laws and court cases that relate to our nonprofit, as well as developing liability waivers. This translates into reading a lot of dry legalese and doing a lot of paperwork, pretty much. The 49ers have some pretty ambitious goals, including becoming a nationwide nonprofit. In order to do this, we're going to need a lot of help from a lot of people. We currently have plans to partner with several organizations in order to accommodate a variety of classes that we wish to teach. We're in need of monetary, in-kind donations, volunteers, and a whole lot more. We hope to partner with local businesses and organizations in order to form relationships within the community. Keeping things local appeals to many Alaskans' sense of self-sufficiency and independence, and we hope to encourage that through our classes. On the other side of things, we intend to partner with national chains such as Home Depot, Lowe's, Napa, etc. Doing this aids our long-term goals of branching out to other cities and states. If we form a solid working relationship with national chains, it will be easier to work with them in other areas when we open other chapters of the 49ers in different cities and states, and it'll help things get started elsewhere. The local university fulfills both local goals and national hopes. The University of Alaska Fairbanks, also known as UAF, is the local chapter of a statewide network of campuses known as the University of Alaska. It has resources such as skilled instructors, meeting places, and equipment that we are hoping to use at some point. It is also part of the Western Undergraduate Exchange Program, also known as WUI. This means that the 49ers, if we can set up a good working relationship with the University of Alaska Fairbanks, University of Alaska Anchorage, Juneau, all the other campuses that we wish to operate chapters in the cities where they reside, if we can get a good working relationship with the University of Alaska system, hopefully we'll be able to expand past that through their link with other colleges and universities in lower 48 on the western side of the nation. This will hopefully make it easier to do that because universities are a great local resource. Excuse me. Fire departments are also a great partner. They're in almost every single community there is, and many already teach basic first aid. It would be relatively simple to partner with one or two local fire departments for help with first aid classes and possibly even wilderness first aid classes. The 49ers are very well aware of the challenges associated with developing a successful nonprofit. Liability is a major concern, especially with the classes we wish to hold, such as home repair and car maintenance. It kind of opens us up to a lot of possible issues. While volunteers are generally protected from lawsuits by the 1997 Volunteer Protection Act, the nonprofit itself is still vulnerable to lawsuits, especially because of the acts of a volunteer. This ties in with tort liability, basically being sued for damages. It's the classic lawsuit of, oh, I hurt my finger or I sliced off my arm. What are you going to do about it? Pay me back for all of this. Another issue would be wrongful employment practices. This is a fairly common one with nonprofits. It's employees and volunteers themselves suing the nonprofit. This could be anything from discrimination to poor treatment from a superior to improperly handled assault and harassment cases. This is something nonprofits commonly suffer from because of the small community feeling, and that it's not actually technically a business. That's the downfall of a lot of nonprofits. Any legal issues can be solved with a simple liability waiver. Having class participants sign a hold harmless agreement before the beginning of the class is a good way to take care of a lot of problems right off the bat. Another way to decrease the possibility of a lawsuit would also be to just behave ethically and professionally. As I mentioned earlier, that's the downfall of a lot of nonprofits is they start acting like it's a club, just a group of friends, but it isn't. It is basically a business. Um, Maintaining a professional environment would help reduce the chances of wrongful employment and lawsuit, and should one occur, it would give the 49ers a stronger basis for proving that the claim is a wrongful one and that there is no case against us. Adequate rather than just bare minimum insurance will be important too. Finally, accountability is going to be one of the biggest keys to success for the 49ers. Holding the organization accountable to the public only makes sense because the nonprofit has been created to serve the public. It makes sense to be open to the public for scrutiny. In the coming weeks, the 49ers Guide to Alaska Living Board will be developing a set of operating standards which will be consistent with our mission statement so that we have a basis for everything that we do. We'll consult with organizations such as the Better Business Bureau in order to have more input and a more solid foundation. The board will be responsible for implementing and demonstrating those operating standards as well as maintaining them. With solid leadership, we'll be in a good position to deal with any legal issues that might come up or even to prevent them in the first place. If you'll now please turn your attention to Helen, she'll be going over the finance side of the 49ers Guide to Alaska Living.
Thanks for the introduction, Sam. In this section, we are going to discuss what it means and what it takes to have a successful financial department for a nonprofit. Also, we will talk about how our financial department will run smoothly with showing how we can be transparent. At the end, we are going to talk about a great local fundraiser that we have in store. My name is Helen Hutchinson, and I am the treasurer for 49ers Guide to Alaska Living. As a treasurer, I am responsible for finding investors, bookkeeping, fundraising, payroll, and maintaining transparency with our money. Currently, we have Home Depot, Lowe's, Big Ray's, and Country Kitchen as our providers for materials for our classes. Financially, I have applied for 2 grants offered through the federal government to help with starting up a nonprofit. Our payroll is non-existent because our mission and vision is to promote and advance Alaska living in the community. 49ers Guide to Alaska Living is based solely on the community. The reason why we aren't taking a salary is because we don't feel the need that money can justify what we're doing. And it can't justify our worth. It is important to help the community and not ourselves. Maintaining transparency was the last point I talked about, and we're going to go into more depth on that because it is so important for nonprofits to maintain transparency. It can also be very hard for nonprofits to do that. But I have a solution for this in 49ers Guide to Alaska Living. Since we have monetary and material inputs and outputs, I thought it would be best to have an input and output spreadsheet of what we used and how we used it. I have created a mock list here of things that we could potentially use and how they are used. In the first one, it is the input and output list. Over here we have materials received. So we have, for example, 30 2x4s from Lowe's, and 23 of them were used in the woodworking class that we offered. We received 3 quarts of oil from Jiffy Lube, and all of it was used in our basic car maintenance class. In this over here, we received salmon, Alaska caught salmon, and the ingredients to make baked teriyaki salmon, and all of it was used at our cooking class. The pans that we received from Country Cookware as a donation are still being used in every cooking class we offer. And the fishing gear we received from Big Ray's are still continued to be used in the classes we offer for beginning and introductory to fishing. At the bottom here we have monetary input and output chart. So on the left here is our bank account if we receive one of the $20,000 grants from the federal government. And over here is the amount per year that initially we're projected to spend and receive. Here are the IRS startup fees that we need to pay every year for our nonprofit. The fundraising dinner, we need to book the Westmark hotel room and have all of the auction items and gifts that we will need. That is included here. Other fundraisers are miscellaneous fundraisers, for example, booths at fairs and other things, so I projected that to be about $3,000 for the year. We need to rent places if they are not already given to us for holding our classes, and having materials in case our classes aren't fully supported by the community. At the bottom here is money raised from the auction is projected to be about $10,000, and we will also have miscellaneous donations throughout the year. This is including the other fundraisers. Speaking of fundraisers, we have a great upcoming fundraiser at the Westmark Hotel held on summer solstice at 7 p.m. There will be a flannel fashion show, a silent and live auction, dinner, and lots of fun. The tickets will be for sale for $50, and to inquire more about those, feel free to email me at 49ersguide-to-alaska-living@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there. Back to Coraline for the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Helen. So now that you've met our dedicated and professional staff for the organization and seen how we have all individually but alike found that Alaska has an abundance to offer within its environment and its economy when skills and knowledge are present, as well as it has an abundance of skilled educators to offer, and we have a fantastic opportunity to recruit and facilitate them to benefit the community. So our experience as Alaskan gives us an excellent perception on how to run this organization, and the greatest advantage to our organization is by its description that we've created. It is both for adaptation and adaptable in itself. The workshops that this expansive organization will offer will evolve to and for the community's resilience. And so with the small cultural shift in the state's ever-changing portrait through our organization, we can maintain the important tradition and enjoy the benefits of cultural diversity hand in hand. So we want to thank you for your continued support, and we hope that you found our organization inspiring. We hope to see you out there soon, and thank you for all.